Hey everybody, thank you so much for calling. How about watching? Call the cops. Sorry about that. Tonight, as always, big show in store. And if you looked at or read yesterday's Boston Globe, then you know all about tonight's guest, who we will bring out in approximately 3 or 4 minutes. His name is Officer Frank Williams, assigned to Area C6 in Southie. Correct? He's off camera. I'm just confirming this information. He'll be out in 2 seconds, and he's doing some great stuff with the tennis program. Before we get to the vids, Dave, you know what I want to do real quick? Just talk about police details. We say it all the time, and we say it because, well, it's true. Police details make an already safe city even safer, and this past week there were a couple of great examples of that. Detail officers making arrests last week within an hour of each other downtown. Within an hour of each other, detail officers arrested, made an arrest for an armed robbery. A guy had pulled a knife on a female victim, and a guy who, in unlawful possession of a firearm, actually waved the firearm at somebody in traffic. Call went out, detail officers in the right place, stepping up, making the arrest again. I can't say it enough. We say it all the time. Detail officers make the city safer. And again, we had a couple of great examples of that. I think the stories appeared in both the Globe and the Herald. So I wanted to give a shout out to the detail officers doing some great work, especially all the time, but in particular this past week. All right, real quick, we told you about tonight's guest, and Davey, feel free to roll what video we have. But this is the article which appeared in the paper yesterday, Advantage Kids. And again, tonight's guest is the man behind what, I tell you what, it's a great program, plain and simple. It's about, it's tennis, anyone, but it's also about teaching kids some great life lessons. Again, article in the Globe yesterday, and we're fortunate enough to have this man on tonight on Call the Cops. So as you can well imagine, it's been a pretty exciting past couple of days. Globe one day, Call the Cops the next. Ba-dum-bum, thank you. All right, this was the scene at Boston Police Headquarters. Promotion time for a great guy, and if anybody knows Kevin Buckley, there's our man right there. You don't have to say much. Stand-up guy, just stand-up, classy, smart, and phenomenal police officer. Well, this was the scene this past week. Again, promotional ceremony for Sergeant Detective Kevin Buckley, promoted from Sergeant Detective to Deputy Superintendent of Homicide, which is, it's a phenomenal position. And we just want to say congratulations to Kevin Buckley. Again, when it comes to people, deserving people, Kevin Buckley, is certainly that. So congratulations, Deputy Buckley. All right, Evergreen Cemetery in Brighton. And again, I know you have been watching Call the Cops. We had Bobby Anthony on the show. Bobby Anthony, a police officer, actually he's a department chronologist, was on the show talking about Horatio Homer. And Horatio Homer, for those who are watching, is the department's first African-American police officer, hired way back in 1878. Well, he was on the job for, I want to say 30-plus years, passed away in 1923. Well, they stopped by his gravesite. Come to find out there was no marker, no stone. And when the department found out about it, well, they said, we need to right the wrong. And the ceremony this past week did just that. There's the stone right there. Horatio, Julius Homer, I should say. Again, great ceremony. Department did a phenomenal job of honoring Horatio Homer, the department's first African-American officer, whose gravesite was unmarked until this past week.
Today's event was all about remembering Sergeant Horatio J. Homer and the contribution he made not only to the black community, but also to the Boston Police Department. I think it's important for us to remember the type of contribution he made. He being a trailblazer, the first African-American appointed to the city of Boston Police Department. And also, during those times, I mean, he was appointed in 1878. So imagine those times when you had the Jim Crow laws and the country was still experiencing racism and still trying to work through that. And this gentleman was so brave and honorable and took that step forward to be the first African-American police officer appointed to BPD.
Boston Police Department is the oldest police department in the United States, and our history is very imperative to where we came from, how we got here, and where we're going from today. And I think that finding and locating part of our past, and bringing it forward and having a little closure on it is a big part of our history. And it just shows that our department comes together no matter what color you are, white, black, Asian. You could see that in the demographics that were here today marching, and I'm very impressed with what I saw today.
A lot of people, Bobby, were impressed. Great job with the Horatio Homer ceremony. All right, speaking of great events, how about the first annual Field of Dreams Wiffle Ball Tournament? This was a scene at the BAC, the Boston Athletic Club over in South Boston. And really, you know what? Hats off to Superintendent Paul Fitzgerald, among others, who helped put this bad boy together. All the proceeds from this event, and when we say proceeds, we mean proceeds, because they raised a little over, get ready for this, $30,000. Hello, $30,000. All proceeds went to or go to the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. Of course, Superintendent Fitzgerald's daughter was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes about 3 years ago. Great event. Can't say it enough. I mean, it had a little bit of everything. Rene Rancourt singing the national anthem. We had a kid by the name of Keith Yandel of the Phoenix Coyotes. And yeah, a bona fide NHL player showed up with the jersey, and he actually hand-delivered his jersey to a lucky kid. All in all, again, folks, can't stress it enough. A great event, great time, a lot of fun had by all. Here's what Super Fitz had to say about the event shortly after it was over.
3 years ago, my daughter, she was 8 years old, was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes. Prior to that, I knew nothing about diabetes at all. I knew no one with it. I've learned a whole lot in the last 3 years, and for 3 years I've been thinking I should do something. I'm obligated to do my part in trying to raise some money and find a cure for this tough illness that affects so many people. So much work to put an event like this together. I had an unbelievable staff that helped me put it together, but you're always nervous. You just don't know who's coming. A lot of people contributed, but to show up today and see all the people come out with their families and give us a day, a full day on a Saturday, a busy weekend, and just to come together for this cause, and for some great kids, and for a great cause, and throw their money together for us. I can't tell you how fortunate I am to be part of this organization and to have such great family and friends.
Yeah, great event. $30,000. Hello. All right, quick shout out to, you're looking at Sergeant Mike O'Connor, recently retired. In fact, his family, his wife Donna, they threw him an unbelievable retirement party this past week over at the Venezia in Dorchester. A great time had by all. And, well, if you've been watching the show, you know Mike O'Connor. He's kind of the go-to guest around here when people cancel. But that aside, Mike O'Connor, great asset to the department. It's going to be greatly missed. One of the things, of the many things he was involved in, you're looking at footage from the Explorer program, or the Youth Leadership Program. This was the graduation ceremony which took place at Boston Police Headquarters not too long ago. And in his 4 years doing this, 100 high school kids went through the program and learned a little something about what police officers do. And to say the least, Mike loves working with the kids. And you know what? I think the kids loved working with Mike. Safe to say. What do you think, Mike?
It's really nice when they come up afterwards and they say, thank you, this really meant a lot. Not only is it nice when the kids do it, but when their parents do it as well. I guess that's what it's all about when it's said and done. As a parent, I can appreciate that, having 3 children, when people give their time. But when people like Officer Keneally gets involved, the kids just really appreciate that. And it's really nice, as one girl said to me, you know, this was organized, it came in. We could tell from the way things were set up and the way it was organized that you guys cared. Everything was on schedule. There wasn't any cancellations or anything like that, and we had to go all the way home. Every week we got something out of it. And that, you know, it was a minor point, but it was a point well made.